And a very good evening. Welcome to the non-league social. A younger face is hosting the show tonight. I should say Lee is quite busy at work, so he's put all the responsibility on me once again. Probably the biggest mistake he's made this year, but we shall see how it goes on. We've also got Steve Linton on, and we've got an exclusive interview with Garth Good from Distown, and hopefully later on Paul Blissett from Great Yarmouth Town. But other than that, I hope you're having a good evening, and good evening, Toasty, as well. Let's run that intro. Yes, it is Thursday, and as always, we've got Steve Linton, who was on last week, and he has joined once again. He'll be with us throughout the night. Good evening, Steve. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yourself?
Yes, I'm doing well. I think you should be quite excited for tomorrow, I'm assuming, with the away trip to Wroxham and possibly the title as well.
Yeah. Well, I was playing it very cagey last Thursday, but then we went and done the business 1-2-1 at home to Tilbury. Didn't play fantastic, but I think that was more down to Tilbury being a tough team. And then the other results went for us again. So it's just pushed us that further away. So as you quite rightly say, really we need 2 points really, but 3 points will win tomorrow, and that'd be good. But I still can't really think about what that really means, if I'm honest. So someone might have to explain it to me nearer the time, but let's wait and see. I've got goosebumps talking about it. Look.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm assuming there's quite a few people planning on heading up to Wroxham tomorrow as well. How many coaches have been booked? Can I just ask?
Yeah, so we got 2 coaches that are actually fully booked, but there's also quite a few that are going to go up on the train. So originally, I think someone asked me from Wroxham how many people. I said probably about 120-ish, maybe to 150. But I think actually it could be pushing towards 200.
Oh, God. I know Brentwood personally. They have a brilliant fan base, especially away as well. So it'll be very interesting indeed. Also, we've got our regulars in the chat as well. Charlie Stone, good evening to you. And obviously Verity as well. Good evening, gents. And good luck, Steve, for tomorrow, which I think most of us will be wanting Brentwood to go up tomorrow. But let's stop talking about Brentwood for now, because let's go down to the 10th tier, and most specifically the Furlough None Division 1 North, as the playoff race is nearly closing down. It's between 2 teams, 5th place Distown and 6th place FC Peterborough. There's just 2 games left for both of them, and it is going to be a very interesting run in, I should say, indeed. Joining us on the non-league social is Distown manager Garth Good. Good evening, Garth. Thank you for joining tonight. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you very much for having me in. Thanks very much.
Yes, indeed. So it seems a very tight one indeed, and obviously with this just in the playoff places, just by 2 points against FC Peterborough, it's going to be pretty much squeaky bum time going into the last couple of games of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a very close run-in. I think Peterborough have been in excellent form of late, and credit to what they've put together. You have to recognise that. And we've maintained form. We've had our few moments, like every team does, where we've maybe dropped a few points. Well, it depends how you want to look at it. We've maybe dropped points or maybe saved a couple of points. Depends how you want to look at it. This time last year, there was sort of games we lost, and we managed with 5 minutes to go in both those games to get a couple of draws out of it. So it's made it very close. It means that with these 2 games to go, it's very important the results we get and how well Peterborough are playing in those 2 games as well. So we've got a game of Wivenhoe, and then we're playing the champions on the last game of the season. It may well come down to that last game.
Yes, I do think so as well, because having a look at FC Peterborough's last 2 games of the season, they've got Whittlesea away at home and then Swaffham, who are bottom of the table, away. So like you said, it's definitely going to go down to the last game of the season. But what were your expectations at the start of the season with Dis, and how well have they held up throughout the season?
I think this is my second season there, and our expectations were in year one we were trying to finish in the top middle to top half of the table. We wanted to be closer to the playoffs this year. That was our objective with our young squad. So we feel we're ahead of schedule in that sense. We didn't feel at the start of the year we would get into the playoffs. I thought there was teams in the league that were stronger than us at the time. We've had an excellent season. The young lads have been brilliant. So we've been in and around it most of the year this year, which is a real credit to the boys and the work they've put in. So we've been the joy of working with young players is, as well as we all know, is when they're good, they're very good. What sometimes younger players struggle with is levels of consistency. We been on our day against some teams a very good side. We have been naive and been punished on other occasions. So yeah, we're very pleased with what we've achieved this year. We have to produce again a performance that we managed to produce last week to have any chance of getting into those playoffs. So it's all to play for with these two games, but really proud of what the boys have done to this point.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you are indeed. And Charlie Stone did put there as well. Peterborough are a funny side, a very tough side to play against. And I think, if I'm right in thinking, they did beat Dis 5-2 earlier on in the season. I'm not saying anything.
They beat us. No, they did. Yeah, they beat us 5-2. We had, I think I can't remember if we had one sent off or two sent off in. But that wasn't the reason. On the day, they were just the better side. And I think it's one of those moments where sometimes you have to just acknowledge the fact that we weren't good enough on the day and they were very good. Their game plan was right. And our little bit of inexperience was the mistake, and they punished that. So, listen, they're a very good side. I think if you look at the situation, if Peterborough make it into the playoffs, they can make a strong case that they deserve to be in there. If we manage to get in there, I think we can make a strong case to be in there. So I think either side has really shown that they have the capability of getting in there. Football's a funny game. I think this Saturday will be a very interesting one because we have Wivenhoe and they have Whittlesea, which is a localish derby for them. So that might be an interesting situation. And then the tough situation that is on the Monday is we travel to Haverhill, who have been excellent all season, and they travel to Swaffham. So we are really pleased with what we have managed to do. Of course, we'd be a little bit disappointed if we didn't make it, but at the same time, we have to appreciate what the boys have done for the club this year.
Yeah. Also saying as well, with 2 games in 2 days as well, that must put some sort of pressure on the squad as well.
Absolutely. But I think that's tough for any team, but I don't want to talk about it too much because every club has those moments they have to face. I don't want to use that as an excuse in any way, shape or form. It will be tough on the legs, but that's the sort of situation boys have to unfortunately face. That's what the league decided. So it will be a challenge. Of course it will. And sometimes, let's be honest, we can talk about tactics and technique as much as you want. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, don't you? And luck can be opportunities you take in and around the box. It can be which team avoids injuries and which team could be the freshest on the Monday as well. So all of those factors will, of course, come into play.
Yes, indeed. So I think my last question, if you do go up, and that's if like the playoffs do work in favour, what would be the plan for next season? What would the ideal aim be? I think I'm trying to say.
I think we have to respect the quality of the league. If we were managed to go up, I think we have to respect the quality of the Prem. And I think the objective would have to be survival. That would be the first task, because I think it would be naive to think you go up and be super competitive against teams that have quite established. Dis have had before I came to the club, they had a tough period where maybe they were underachieving as a football club. We've got the club on the right tracks again, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to anyone before me. But I think if we were lucky enough to achieve that goal, I think the objective would be to solidify where we're going and try and survive the next year. That would be the ultimate goal, I think.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I don't know if I have any more questions. Steve, do you have any questions quickly? Or if anyone in the chat does?
No, for me, I don't. I just want to wish you all the best, and I'll certainly be looking out for your result, any rate. So yes, it's a big. This Easter really shakes things up, doesn't it? The two games come in just really at the business end of the season. Anything can happen. So it's just about remaining positive, doing the best you can, and that little bit of lady luck, I totally agree with you there. It's all about that. So I hope you get that at the weekend. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Listen, we'd love to say luck didn't play as big of a part as it does, but that'd be naive. I think we prepare every team now. I think spends a lot of time preparing for games. We all have these wonderful game plans, but sometimes it's a bit of luck in and around the penalty box that makes the difference, and which team can avoid negative consequences if that's injury, tired legs, or suspensions. Right, so we hope we put ourselves in the best possible position, and that's what I've basically said to the boys. Is their objective is to go out there the next two games and conduct themselves in the best possible manner. There's a reason we love the game, right? Because you can't guarantee the result, but you can guarantee how hard you're willing to work to try and get the result. And I said to the boys, if you've given us everything you've got, you play for the shirt and you give everything you got, even if you don't make it, boys, you can hold your head up. And that's what we're trying to cultivate, not to put any added pressure on the boys, but to make them realise a wonderful position they're in, and actually to go out there without the fear of failure, because they're not going to get it from us and the fans, and actually go out and give a good account of themselves. And if they do that, regardless of the outcome, I think the club and those who support the club will be proud of the efforts they've put in this year.
Yes, absolutely. We just got one more comment there from William Johnson, who said, "This were brilliant on Saturday. Could be a three-way fight on Monday for the playoffs." And seeing who you played on Saturday, Stanway Pegasus, a massive 1-0 win as well. So do you think it would be a three-way fight?
Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously, Fram are 3 points ahead of us. And I think Fram are playing Stanway, I believe, on Saturday. So if we happen to, if we and Peterborough both win and Stanway happen to beat Fram, all of a sudden, going to our last game as three teams fighting for two spaces, which would be very interesting. But so that a lot of ifs and buts there, but yeah, there's potential. But and that's the challenge for our boys. That's what we were saying to them the other day. Is it was a very good performance against a very good side in Fram. We need to put in that same sort of level, and we've got to conduct ourselves in the same manner, and hope that we have the same level of performance and that little bit of luck that we had on Saturday as well.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I do wish you and this town the best of luck for the playoffs. Oh, sorry, that are hopefully going to be confirmed by Monday. And yes, thank you very much for joining the non-league social tonight as well.
Cheers, thanks a lot. All the best for the season. No, it's great. Thank you.
Well, that was a very interesting interview as well. Obviously, Steve, you have a bit of like PTSD when we talk about playoffs over the last few years. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to erase those two words from my vocabulary.
Yes, I mean you've got to, because I went to your playoff finals last year against Bowes and Pitsea. Oh God, it was horrible for the Brentwood fans who travelled. I think it was only down the road from them. Luckily, though, not all the way in Norfolk.
Yeah, no. It was just it was at Basildon. They play at Basildon, so yeah, it was just up the road. But whether it's up the road or it's 2 hours away, I mean, it's still just as bad, to be honest. But anyway, that's history now. We can't change that, but we can change what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's what I know that we're all focused on. So we're all meeting up over the club tomorrow, 9:30, and then I'm on the players' coach. We leave at 10 o'clock because we just in case there's a bit of traffic. So we'll be there plenty of time, hopefully. So fingers crossed.
Yes, absolutely. And talking about present, let's talk about what's been happening throughout the leagues over the last few days. Let's go, as always, as we start in the Furlough None Division 1. No, not Furlough None Division 1 North. The Vanarama National League North, I should say. Right here. Hopefully my screen can come out. Brilliant. It works a lot better than Lee's screen. Okay, so as we go on to Saturday's fixtures, we had, as in the 12th of April, Alfreton Town 2, Peterborough Sports 0, which Alfreton, I think, where are they? Oh, they're mid-table, so it didn't really matter for them. Chester 2, Darlington 1, Chorley 0, Marine 0, Farsley Celtic 1, Kingsland Town 3, which has actually put them in the playoff places just by 1 point over Curzon Ashton. Then we have Leamington 0, Radcliffe 0, Needham Market 1, Rushall Olympic 0, which is a massive win for them on Saturday. But obviously they played, I think it was yesterday, they didn't play yesterday. It was Radcliffe 2, Farsley Celtic 1. Radcliffe scored a 91st minute winner to send Needham down. And then obviously we had Oxford City 1, Hereford 2. Again, that's very important for them indeed going into the playoff fight. Scarborough Athletic 0, Buxton 3. Again, it's massively important. There's a few teams who are fighting for the playoffs this season indeed. Scunthorpe 2, Spennymoor 1, putting them staying, I should say, top of the table. South Shields 0, Southport 0, and Warrington 1, Brackley 2. And Charlie Stone just said in the comments, massive Easter weekend for the Linnets, hoping to get to the game tomorrow. Gonna be a massive crowd.
Well,
So,
I mean, just looking at those results from Saturday, and it's no surprising when you look at the calibre of clubs that are in there. But there were 7 games that reached 4 figures. Unbelievable. And then obviously Scunthorpe United had 4,500 now. I mean, there's some absolutely amazing attendances in there.
Yeah, that is amazing. And obviously it's definitely heating up in the playoff fight at the moment. I think it is a 6-man race at the moment going into the last 3 games of the season in the league as well. So it's going to be spicy, this league is, going into the business end.
Yeah, really everyone really down as far as Spennymoor Town are going to be thinking that they want to throw their hat in the ring, right? So
yes, exactly. So the upcoming games we have, if I can see, we've got Good Friday, Brackley Town versus Oxford City, and then Buxton versus Chorley there, a playoff battle with that one. Curzon Ashton versus Alfreton, a massive game for Curzon, obviously, if they want to try and overtake Kings Lynn and maybe Hereford and Chorley as well. And then, obviously, big one of the week, Kings Lynn versus Scunthorpe United tomorrow. And that could decide Kings Lynn's fate, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was waiting for some input. Sorry there. Then we've got...
No. I mean, it could do. Yeah, you're right. It could do because they need to stay in there, right? So I think if they lose, it's not gonna completely wipe them out. But they need to stay in there. They need to stay in there. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then we've got Marine versus Warrington, which I'm assuming it's not really important because Warrington are relegated and Marine are pretty much out of the race. Then Peterborough Sports versus Needham Market, again, not an important one. Rushall versus Kidderminster. Now, that's actually important for Kidderminster, who want to try and win the league, along with Brackley and Oxford, I should mention as well. Southport versus Chester. And again, Chester trying to get into the semi-finals semi-finals of the playoffs. And then we've got Spennymoor versus Scarborough at the bottom. So, a bit spicy over Good Friday indeed then, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there is. There's some cracking ones in there. I mean, you just look at that league and even just at the top, you've got Brackley Town, Kidderminster and Scunthorpe. 1 point between the 3 teams. Brackley with a game in hand. So, you could say that that they're holding the ace a little bit, but obviously you've got to win it. So, it's very interesting. It's almost like a couple of mini leagues within the playoffs, right? Because you've got the top 3 and then you've got 4 really all the way down to 10. So,
yeah, exactly. Right. And then obviously, as it is the Easter weekend, we will go to Easter Monday as well, where we've got Alfreton versus Buxton, and then Chester versus Marine. Obviously, again, Chester being in the playoffs, it is big for them. Chorley versus Radcliffe, another big one for Chorley. Farsley Celtic versus Kirsten Ashton. Again, you've got some big games here because these are 3-pointers, ideally. And then this one, I'd say it's the game of Easter Monday. Kidderminster versus Hereford, 2nd place versus 6th place. I think that's going to be a very, very spicy one. And then we've got the derby between Needham and Kings Lynn Town. Again, a massive game. And I think there's going to be a massive crowd, if I'm right in thinking, on Monday as well at Needham. Then Oxford City versus Rushall Olympic. Scarborough versus Darlington. Scunthorpe United versus Peterborough Sports. South Shields versus Spennymoor. Again, massive one for Spennymoor. It's a local derby, that one is. And then Warrington versus Southport, which is not that important indeed. But yeah, Easter Monday also seems very interesting as well. You're muted, by the way.
Sorry. Yeah, I just had I had a coughing fit, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't coughing over the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, like we said, there's some big clubs there, and there's 6 points at stake over the space of a couple of days. I mean, this weekend is pivotal for all the leagues, really. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. And let's say big clubs in there. I mean, Kidderminster against Hereford. I mean, wow, massive game, 2 massive clubs. Scarborough with a lot of history behind them, really, against Darlington. Some big clubs in there, big games.
Yes, indeed. So that will be very interesting over the Easter weekend. So if you want some football, this league will spice up indeed. Right, let's go to the Southern Premier Central, where we find our 3 Suffolk teams: Lowestoft, AFC Sudbury, and Leiston right here. So on Saturday, it was Banbury United 0, AFC Telford 0, Billsway Town 1, Redditch 1, Bishop Stortford 0, Kettering Town 2, a massive win for them to hopefully get top of the table. Hellzone Town 0, Barwell 0, Harbour Town 1, St Ives 2, Hitchin Town 0, AFC Sudbury 1, a massive win for AFC Sudbury in their relegation survival hopes. Lowestoft 2, Bedford 3, and obviously Lowestoft were 2-0 up at half time as well. A massive, massive comeback for Bedford Town. Royston 2, Bromsgrove Sporting 1, Spalding 0, Alvechurch 0, Stourbridge 2, Leiston 0, and Stratford Town 1, Stamford 1. Well, I think the result of the week has got to be that Hitchin Town AFC Sudbury 1. A massive win for AFC Sudbury indeed.
Yeah. I mean, they're not. They're obviously they're not out of it, but it certainly has really helped to try and pull them just away a little bit. I'm sure Barwell are going to have a lot to say about that when they play on Friday. Shame that they only got a draw at Halesowen, but yeah, no. Again, at the bottom, very close. I mean, wow.
Yeah,
literally got 2 points from 14th all the way down to 19th.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's literally, and if you want to include Alvechurch there as well, who have 4 points, it is pretty much a 7-man race just for one relegation spot as well, which should be exciting to see that relegation fight. But also up the top as well, 3 points between Bedford and Kettering, and it's actually very close up top as well between the top 4 as well, if you look at it.
Yeah. I'm sure even Halesowen and AFC Telford are still looking at Bedford Town, thinking, we could still possibly pick them if they have a wobble and they struggle a bit at the weekend. So it'd be interesting to see the fixtures in a second to see particularly who Bedford have got. Yes. But at the bottom, it's just a shame to see Lowestoft. They won our league last year, the Isthmian North division. They won it. They was the best side in the league for sure. It's just a shame to see them struggle this year and then come back down again.
And you did say there was a massive gap between step 3 and step 4, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, and I do truly believe there is. Yeah, I do truly believe there is. I mean, same with Bowers and Pitsy, the team that beat us in the final last year on penalties. They've got relegated from the Isthmian Premier, which is probably going to be the league that we would look to go up to if we were successful at the weekend. So it just goes to prove that there is a big gap there, and you know, survival and establishing yourself isn't going to be easy. So, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Good evening, Alex, as well. Oh, and look who's coming to the comments as well. Lee's coming to the comments. Good evening, Lee. I hope you're doing well this evening at work.
Yes, I think we've got the teacher watching us, haven't we? I feel like we're the naughty schoolboys, but we've got the teacher watching us.
Yes.
So we make sure we're behaving ourselves.
Yes. But also, I don't know if you've heard about this over the last, I think it was day or something, but massive news come out of Bedford Town with their merger with Rail Bedford. It's not gone through and they've stopped talking about it, which I think we should talk about that, definitely. It's massive.
Yeah, I mean, I only caught a little bit of it online earlier on, so I can't say that I'm right up to speed with it. I just see that there was talks between the two clubs, but yeah, I don't know what's happened recently over it.
Yeah, I don't know what's gone on internally. All I just know is they've stopped talking about a possible merger for next season at least. So maybe the season after, who knows? But let's go on to the fixtures coming up. So obviously, Good Friday, AFC Telford United versus Lowestoft Town, a big game for Telford in the top of the table. Alvechurch versus Hitchin in the relegation battle. If Alvechurch get a draw from it, then they are staying up. At least, I think. But obviously, Barwell versus Stourbridge, a big one for Barwell. Bromsgrove Sporting and Biggleswade Town, and then Redditch versus Harborough Town. That is on Good Friday. A big one for Harborough Town, obviously, as they are in a playoff fight at the moment. But if we go on to, oh God, there we go. Oh, we've got some Saturday games as well.
Yeah.
AFC Sudbury versus Spalding United, Bedford Town versus Stratford Town, Kettering versus Royston, Leiston versus Halesowen Town, St Ives Town versus Bishop Stortford, and Stamford versus Banbury United. So some spicy games over those 2 days indeed as well.
Yeah. I mean, Bedford Town and Stratford Town, to be fair. I mean, you know, Bedford Town really want to try and win the league. Stratford Town desperate to just get themselves into that 5th place. So yeah, that's going to be a good game.
Yes, indeed. And also, I think, which one did I say was going to be? It was the Harborough Town one. Who were they against? Again, they were against Redditch. Again, that's going to be a big one for them as well.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, then we got Good Monday. Then we got Easter Monday, I should say, as well. Banbury United versus Redditch, Biggleswade versus Kettering Town, Bishop Stortford versus AFC Sudbury, Halesowen versus AFC Telford United, Harborough and Barwell, Hitchin versus Bedford. That's going to be a big one as well. Lowestoft versus Leiston, Suffolk Derby in there, which is very nice. Royston versus St Ives, Spalding United versus Stamford, Stourbridge versus Bromsgrove, Sporting and Stratford versus Alvechurch. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting Easter weekend for the Southern Central as well.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously, I'm Essex based, so I'm looking more Essex teams and you know, Suffolk teams that I'm more familiar with, that we've played against, or you know, I've had a bit of rapport with. So the match there, Bishop Stortford against AFC Sudbury. I mean, wow, that could be a very important game. Obviously, they're both playing on the days before, but wow, look at that! Look at that!
I didn't even realise that they were only 1 point in between there. 16th versus 17th. That's going to decide everything, really. So I think if Barwell lose their game on Friday or Saturday, whenever they're playing, then that means both AFC Sudbury and Bishop Stortford will be safe, or I would say one of them will be safe at least. But yes, what a league. Do get involved in the chat if you are still watching. We don't forget as well, we've also got our Super 6 later on tonight as well. But Now we go into the big league, the league that Steve has been waiting for, the Isthmian North Division. And, well, look at that. 7 points clear from second place, Bury Town. That just looks gorgeous. That does for you.
It does. Yeah. You know what? I can't say how many times this week when I've been working, and I've had a really busy week at work, if I'm honest. But every now and then when I just want to take that quick break, I just have a quick look. I mean, that's sad. Should I be doing that? I don't know. But yeah, listen, if it's okay, I'm happy to read the results out from Saturday.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So the game actually kicked off a little bit late, the first one, due to some traffic of Redbridge getting there. Not that obviously I was monitoring that game, obviously not. But yeah, so we had on the Friday night, just so people know, Friday night was Brentwood Town versus Tilbury. Brentwood Town 2, Tilbury 1. So that really put us that little bit of a step ahead. So we could sit back a bit on Saturday and just see how the others were. So Bury Town 0, Redbridge 0, Cambridge City 2, Brightlingsea that are trying to cement that last promotion spot 2. So that was a good draw for them. Galston, who have been flying the second half of the season, if I'm honest, absolutely flying, one of the form teams in the league. Galston 4 and Sporting Bengal 0. Talking about teams that are flying, Grays Athletic, honestly, been doing fantastic. Grays Athletic 1, Felixstowe and Walton United 0, Haringey Borough 2, Heybridge Swifts 0, Ipswich Wanderers 0, Wroxham 1. So a good result for Wroxham, just as they're hovering above the relegation. Malden and Tiptree 1, Walthamstow 1, Newmarket Town 1, Mildenhall 1, Waltham Abbey 3, Concord Rangers 1, and Whittam Town 1, Basildon 1. So some good results there. And I think, listen, we overdo talking about the playoffs and talking about Brentwood Town. I could talk about them for the whole hour, but I mean, there's a couple of teams in there that are going to finish this season, and they're going to feel really positive about what they've done, how they've established themselves, and I'm sure I'd love to speak to some people from Tilbury or Galston, Grays. Even Whittam. I mean, Whittam tailed off a wee bit, but there's 4 teams, 5 teams there, and then everyone knows what's going on with Malden and Tiptree. I mean, they're going to be there or thereabouts next season. So, wow, that's going to be a tough league, and we've not even spoken about the ones that are in the top 5 that are unfortunately going to miss getting promoted. So that's going to be one hell of a league next year.
Yeah, indeed. I can't wait for the league next year. Obviously, you've got also the Further Prem promotion winners. Obviously, that's still undecided. It's a very close one indeed, but it is going to be very spicy indeed. Obviously, like you said as well, Malden and Tiptree, I think they're going to be the team to beat next season as well, with this massive investment being put in to the club. Obviously, you were questioning about the crowd on Saturday to me as well, but no, and they did also say on Easter Monday as well that they've sold nearly 1,000 tickets against, I think it was Heybridge Swifts.
Yeah, so, that's a local one. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's fantastic. So I think the people in that area, it gives the area a buzz, it gives them a boost. It gives a focus, and I think the plans for the stadium, it's not just stands for the football club, it's plans which is for the whole community of how they can benefit. So it's all good. I mean, you worked down there on Saturday.
Yes,
we played there just a few weeks ago since the takeover as well. So I mean, how did you find the experience?
Yeah, it was a really good experience working for them. Indeed, I got some very, very valuable skills, very good tips as well on how to grow the channel. And hopefully next season, if I can get a big camera like that, which is bloody expensive, then we'll see what happens. But no, thank you very much to Malden Tiptree for the amazing experience on Saturday. Sadly, although they did invite me to record next Monday's game, I am at work, sadly, and I could not change it. But yes, also we got a couple of comments in. Robert Dicker says, come on, Brentwood. And Charlie Stone says, Brentwood's to lose. Felixstowe are lucky there's a gap as they are faltering. Yes, they are. They were one of the teams as well.
Yeah, they were. I mean, listen, I know this sounds a cliche, but I mean, Bury, Felixstowe, and Waltham Abbey. I mean, you can't underestimate what Waltham Abbey have done, considering they didn't get off to a fantastic start at the beginning of the season. I mean, those clubs have done brilliantly. I think just to Brentwood's credit, we haven't really hit what I'll say is a bad run. We've just had blips along the way, but as soon as we've had a blip, we've then gone on like a 5, 6, 7, 8 unbeaten run. So that's helped us. Whereas I think, unfortunately, Bury and Felixstowe have just kind of tripped up a bit and gone on a little bit of a downward form at the wrong time, and we've obviously benefited. We've benefited from that. So but those playoffs are going to be interesting. I mean, Waltham Abbey, difficult team to beat, and Brighton and Sea are on form. So there's going to be whoever out of those top 5 are going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be very exciting. I hope I can stand on the sideline and watch it without any pressure. And you can define what I mean from that the best you can, but that's what I'm hoping for. But I will make an effort. I will make an effort actually to go to one of the semi-finals. I've got a couple of teams in there that I feel a little bit more passionate about. So I mean, I'd like to go along and cheer them on.
Yes, I think if I am available, I think the Ishmael North Division playoffs are some of the best, indeed. Obviously, I went to the playoff semi between Bury and Brentwood last season. What a game that was. And obviously the playoff final as well, which we won't talk about. But maybe a few Sky Sports moments. Who knows?
That semi-final.
But no, I think this is going to be one hell of an ending to the season. Right. Let's go on to Good Friday. There's only 3 games on Good Friday. Concord Rangers versus Harringay Borough. Felixstowe and Walton versus Malden and Tiptree. And then the big one, Wroxham versus Brentwood Town, which obviously, Steve, you're going to.
No. Like I said, I'm going up. I'm one of the sold out coaches. So we're going up tomorrow. So looking forward to that. And then Felixstowe a couple of weeks ago, they brought their game forward, which I think is sensible, because if you have the opportunity to be able to play Friday, Monday, it gives the players just that extra day. So I think that if you can, that it's a good way. It's a good, sensible way of doing it. So it'd be interesting.
Also, I just had a question here. Blanket said, am I going to non-league finals day? I haven't booked it, but I am planning on doing it. Verity, Alex, if you're in here, please remind me. Yes. Right. And then obviously we've got Saturday as well. Barcelona United versus Ipswich Wanderers. Nothing to play for. They're both going down anyway. Brighton Sea versus Waltham Abbey. That's a big game indeed. Haybridge Swifts versus Galston. Mildenhall Town versus Whittam Town, which is a big game. Actually, no, not really, because Mildenhall, I say, are staying up. Redbridge versus Grays Athletic. Sporting Bengal United versus Bury Town. Tilbury versus Newmarket, a massive game for Newmarket. And Walthamstow versus Cambridge City. So, very good indeed. A few relegation, massive games in the relegation zone there.
Yeah, I think the one that stands out a wee bit, you would say, is probably Brighton and Sea and Waltham Abbey, but really they are Waltham Abbey for definite. Any rate are in the playoffs for sure. Brighton and Sea, you would probably say, are more or less there any rate. So how do you, if you're the Waltham Abbey manager, how do you set yourself up for that match? Do you go out? Do you put your cards on the table, or do you keep your cards close to your chest? What do you do? So it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Then obviously we got good Monday. I mean, Easter Monday. Brentwood Town versus Basildon United. So obviously, don't win it on Friday. You've got Monday as well. Berry Town versus Mildenhall. Again, another good big game. Cambridge City versus Sporting Bengal United. Goulston versus Brightlingsea Regent. Grays Athletic versus Tilbury. Ipswich Wanderers versus Felixstowe Walton. Local derby. Malden and Tiptree versus Heybridge Swifts. Newmarket Town versus Wroxham. Massive game on Easter Monday between those two. Waltham Abbey versus Redbridge. And finishing off Whitton Town versus Concord Rangers.
Yeah, some good games there. I think one of the ones that I would just like to kind of point out, again, coming from Essex, you mentioned quite rightly Malden and Tiptree against Heybridge, but also Grays against Tilbury is a massive derby game. Both share the same ground. A lot of history between those two clubs. Again, two very, very big established clubs in Essex. So they don't literally have anything much to play for in the league. Tilbury maybe might still be in with a shout of a playoff, but it's going to look unlikely. But both of those clubs are going to want to put one over the other. So yeah, it's going to be a big game, albeit not really a massive influence in the league table.
Yes, definitely, indeed. And Charlie Stone said same thing. Grays versus Tilbury. What a game that is! Yes, that is definitely big. That's definitely a big one as well. So that is it for the Isthmian League. Now it's time to go over to East Anglia. I forgot. I need to just change that quickly. There we go. Just stop that and then share screen to not this town. I want the Premier Division. Just like that. There we go. Right. So here are the recent games. So obviously we got on Saturday Brantham Athletic 3, Great Yarmouth Town 2. Now, I did get updates during that game. Yarmouth were 2-1 up at one point, and Brantham Athletic scored from inside their own half, which is absolutely unbelievable. So if you were at that game, which I'm assuming a few Yarmouth fans will be watching, just what happened, really? I want to know what happened. Howdy United won, Fakenham Town 5, which is a massive win for Fakenham in their title fight. As you can see, they are top only by a goal, by one goal, which is mad. Kirkland Pakewell 3, Cornard United 1, Long Melford 1, Ely City 4, and I'm assuming Ely City, well, they're in the playoffs, but they just need to hold on indeed. Then we got Sheringham 0, Halston 3, Thetford Town 0, Soham Town Rangers 1, Walsham Willows 2, Downham 2. You know, it's Downham dropping points up the top of the table, and then Woodbridge 1, Durham Town 1. So yeah, very good results indeed for the top half teams.
Yeah, and some clubs in there that that we've come across over the last couple of years. So some clubs that have dropped out of that Isthmian Premier that are now playing in that league. So I know how much getting back is going to be important to them. Just a shame from my point of view, a club that we've played a couple of times over the last couple of years that I have great respect for, and that's Stowmarket Town.
Yes.
And it's a shame to see them so near the bottom, but I've been reading some good things about them that hopefully they're going to start establishing themselves and getting back to where they are. And you know, they're a very good club. I really like them. Yeah.
Yeah. So the relegation has already been decided in the league. Long Melford and Sheringham are going down, so there's no discussion about it. But that playoff fight once again in the Furlough Prem, it's literally 1 point in between it for Mulbarton and Walsham, and Walsham and Willows have a game in hand over Mulbarton. So pretty much, if Mulbarton win and Walsham lose, then that means the playoffs have been decided. So let's see who they are playing over the Easter weekend. So it's going to be Cornard United versus Woodbridge. This is all Saturday, by the way. Durham Town versus Stowmarket. Yarmouth versus Downham Town, which could possibly decide Downham's fate on the title. Then Hadley United versus Thetford Town. Halston versus Washington Willows. Heacham versus Soham Town Rangers. Kirkley and Pakefield versus Brantham. and Lon Melford versus Fakenham. And Ian, here we go. This is from the goal from the halfway line. Brantham CB tried a massive bobble, sliced it, and scored from 10 metres inside his own half. That is ridiculous. That is. There is footage on the Brantham Athletics Twitter page if you want to go and see it. I personally don't. The club also tagged me in it, knowing full well that I am a Yarmouth fan. So
yeah.
I'm not going to say.
Don't you wish you actually had your own footage of that? Don't you wish? And then you could try and see if you can put that viral.
Well, maybe, maybe, but yeah. So Saturday looks very interesting indeed. But I think you've got to look at the top 3 teams when you look at Downham Town, who are away at Yarmouth, Fakenham, who are away at Lon Melford, and also Brantham, who are away at Kirkley and Pakefield. All of them, except for Yarmouth, are lower half teams. So it could be very interesting, this playoff fight on Saturday.
Yeah, no, definitely those top 3 look. Those top 3 look. They look pretty strong. Yeah.
Yes, and then obviously we've got Easter Monday as well. We have Brantham Athletic versus Hadley United, Downham Town versus Heacham, Fakenham versus Dereham, Barton Wanderers versus Halston, Sheringham versus Great Yarmouth Town, which I know a load of Yarmouth fans are going to via the train, so they're going to make a day of it. Stone Town Rangers versus Ely, which is a local derby as well. What a way to what a time to put a local derby as well. Stone Market Town versus Kirkland Pakefield, Thetford versus Lakenheath, Walsham versus Cornard, and Woodbridge versus Lon Melford. So I think Fakenham versus Dereham on Monday seems like the highlight, because if I'm right in thinking, Dereham are fighting for the playoffs and Fakenham obviously for the title.
Yeah. So both of those teams are just going to be going. They're just going to be going for it, aren't they? So it looks good.
And we've also just had an update as well from Mr. Ian Honeyman that Ely versus Sheringham is off on Saturday. There we go. I don't think it was on there anyway, if I'm right in thinking. No, it's not. It's not been put on there, Ian. But thanks for saying, indeed. But no, what a final few days that will be in the Furlough None Premier Division, and obviously whoever goes up will most likely go to the Isthmian North Division as well.
Yeah, and bear in mind you're going to be having lower stuff. It's going to be coming down. So yeah,
exactly. So it's going to be a lot more local. The Isthmian League will be as well, and obviously we've got Ipswich Wanderers going back into the Furlough Prem next season as well. So it's going to be another tough league again next season.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So now that is it for the Furlough None North. So now we go to the, if I can find it, the 10th tier, and we go to the Furlough None Division 1 North. And Haverhill Rovers, they're champions no matter what. And like we discussed earlier, Distown and FC Peterborough, 2 points in between it. It's pretty much down to those two throughout the league. So results on Saturday: Distown 2, Framlingham 0. Very big win for Dis. FC Parson Drove 0, Harrington Parkston 1. Haverhill Borough 0, Wivenhoe 1. Doesn't really help them for the relegation, or should I say FA decision on relegation. Holland 0, Pinchbeck United 3, Leiston Under 23s 0, FC Peterborough 3, Stanley Pegasus 1, Gorton Reserves 0, and Witton United 1, Holbeach United 2. So, again, a massive win for this town, but obviously as well a massive win for FC Peterborough as well, going into the playoff fight.
Yeah, good to see some established clubs have got second 11s playing in that league as well.
Yes, there is a load of reserve teams playing in the North Division, and I think we're going to have another one next season as well with Wroxham reserves. Now, obviously, that's not been confirmed by the FA, but obviously it could be very possible in the near future. But yes,
are you making some breaking news there, Dan?
No, it's been talked about for a while. Obviously, there is a team going up from the 11th tier already, which we already know about, and that is Kings Park Rangers. That's already been confirmed. That was confirmed, I think, a couple months ago, if I'm right in thinking. But yes, so it could mean that Haverhill Borough could be going down. Swaffham, they'll go down no matter what, because 9 points in the Furlough None is just not good enough at all. And I do feel sorry for Swaffham as well, because, they've had some issues over there. But, it is what it is, sadly. And now we go to the weekend. And obviously, as we discussed earlier on, Distown versus Wivenhoe Town and FC Peterborough versus Whittlesea Athletic. The two games to watch out for, I should say, in the playoff fight. FC Parsongrove versus Goulston. And another big game as well. Framlingham Town versus Stanway Pegasus. And then we go to the less important games of Saturday. Harrington Parkston versus Dussondale and Helsden. Haverhill Borough, I should say, versus Hull Beach. Holland versus Haverhill Rovers. Needham Market Reserves versus Leiston under 23s. A reserve derby, pretty much, which I wasn't expecting, but there we go. Maybe there is another big one. And then finally on Saturday, Pinchbeck United versus Swaffham Town. Well, I think that reserve derby is just pretty much for glory, I'd say.
Yeah, that's some players in that are trying to push to get in the first team next season. So hopefully, be quite a good game. So
yes.
And you're going to introduce the Monday. You're going to call it Good Monday again.
Yeah. Well, no. Monday? No, it's going to be Easter Monday.
Okay.
It's going to be Easter Monday. I keep getting it confused, but it's Easter Monday. Whittlesea Athletic versus FC Parsongrove. Then Leiston under 23s versus Goulston Reserves. Another reserve clash right there, and another one talking about AFC Sudbury Reserves versus Needham Market Reserves, which is kind of even more of a derby as well. And then obviously we go back to Dussondale and Helsden Rovers versus Framlingham Town. One of the big games of Easter Monday, Haverhill Rovers versus Distown, and then Hull Beach United versus Pinchbeck United. A playoff clash between Stanley Pegasus and Harrington Parkston. Swaffham Town versus FC Peterborough. That, again, it could decide all in the playoffs with those two games. Whitney United versus Haverhill Borough, and finishing off will be Wivenhoe Town and Holland. So it's going to be a spicy playoff, like we said earlier on.
Yeah, you've done well to get through that. All those leagues, tiers, and having to do 2 lots of fixtures as well, eh?
We've got one more.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got one more, and that is the Southern Division of the Furlough None, which is, I think, a more familiar one for you, I will say. I'm not saying anything. But but we've got a few games that have happened over the midweek as well. So let's first start off with Saturday. Basildon Town 1, Hodgson Town 3, Brimston 1, May and Baker 1, Dunmow Town 1, Harlow Town 2. A big win for them to try and overtake Hackney Wick. Then we had Enfield Borough 0, Rayleigh Town 4, Hutton 2, AS London 0, Newbury Forest 4, Burnham Ramblers 3, St Margaret's-Bury 0, Coggeshall Town 2, Barkingside 1, and Hackney Wick 5, which is a massive, massive win for them. And that was a Friday game for them. And then over the midweek on Tuesday, we had Cannonswood 1, Barkingside 4, and that was Monday, Cannonswood. And then Hodgson Town 1, Coggeshall Town 3 on Tuesday. Good results there. But I think the majority of people will be looking at the Harlow and Hackney Wick results.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, they're standout teams in that league, that's for sure. Barkingside, I think you find play really as much as they can. They play their games on a Friday night just to attract a few more people over there, and they get some pretty good crowds on a Friday, really, considering.
Yes, and like you see on the table right here, only 2 points in between it with 2 games left. So if Harlow fail to win on Saturday and Hackney Wick do win, then that is it. Hackney Wick win the league. But obviously, it will all be to play for if they stay the same. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable. So we've got a game tomorrow, actually. Barkingside versus Enfield Borough. That is your Good Friday match. And then on Saturday, we have AS London versus St. Margaret's Bury, Brimstown versus Hutton, Burnham Ramblers versus Cannonswood, Coggeshall Town versus May and Baker, Dunmow versus Southend Manor, FC Baresi versus Harlow Town. There's one of your big games for Saturday. Then Hackney Wick versus Newbury, Hodgson Town versus Basildon Town, Northwest London versus Rayleigh to finish off Saturday. So, yes, that is a big one. I'm assuming. Oh, actually, no, there is a relegation. We've got to look at relegation as well. We've got Barkingside and Southend Manor. So, Barkingside, where did they say they're playing? Well, they're playing tomorrow against Enfield Borough. So, it's going to be interesting. This one will be.
Yeah, no, it will. I mean, immediately you just look at the teams at the top. So you just look at Hackney Wick away to May and Baker. You'd think that they should get a result there. Harlow Town at home to St Margaret's Borough. So yeah, it's at the top there. I think Hackney Wick are going to do it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, same here. But also we've got to have a look at the playoff fight as well, because no one's noticed that there is 3 teams, 2 points in between it as well. And also AS London with a game in hand over the other 2 as well, I should say. So again, that's going to be big as well for them, because Hutton's got Brimstown, AS London, St Margaret's Bury, and then Coggeshall. Where are they? I don't think they're. Oh no, they've got May and Baker.
Yeah. I mean, again, a couple of Essex teams there as well, particularly Hutton, very local to us, and they part of their club. They use our facility now sometimes, so that's good. There's a little bit of a partnership there, and Coggeshall, was only in our league a couple of seasons ago as well. So it's always good to see them. Just kind of reevaluating, rebuilding themselves, and trying to push to start climbing back up to step 4. Yes,
indeed. And then we've got Easter Monday, and this is the final load of fixtures. Thank God. Basildon Town versus Brimstown, and then we've got Burnham Ramblers versus Hodgson, Dunmow Town versus Barkingside, Enfield Borough versus FC Baresi. Harlow Town versus St Margaret's Bury. Again, that could decide it. Then Hutton, Northwest London, May and Baker versus Hackney. That again, one of those 2 could decide it, which is amazing. Newbury Forest versus Cannonswood, Rayleigh versus AS London, and finally, thank God, Southend Manor versus Coggeshall Town. Not to forget as well, the League Cup final.
Yeah, that'd be good. You've got Harlow, the big established club in that particular league. Hackney Wick, who could well be the league winners. So anyone's around on that Monday the 5th, which is a bank holiday Monday. Same weekend, I think that the all the Isthmian regional playoffs are over that weekend as well. I know the North is on the Saturday the 3rd. So if anyone doesn't want to go to an Isthmian playoff final, then that one at Aveley looks like it could be a good one to go to.
And then I will be going to the Isthmian playoff then, which is even better. Thank you for suggesting that one. But yes, so obviously that is it for teams. Thank God. Right, I'm just going to get rid of that. Right, now it's the Super 6 time, finishing off the show. There is no quiz this week. Thank God.
Yeah, I was thinking, it's going to be you reading the questions out and myself. So okay, good.
There is no quiz. It's just the Super 6, and here it is: Needham Market versus Kings Lynn, Bishop Stortford versus AFC Sudbury, Wroxham versus Brentwood, Lowestoft versus Leiston, Yarmouth versus Downham, and Fakenham versus Dereham. A load of title deciding games, I should say. So as Wroxham versus Brentwood is on here, then please put your answers to Lee by lunchtime tomorrow, because obviously the game's tomorrow. But yes, as you are the guest, I think, Steve, you should go first.
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, actually, I just want to let everyone know I made my debut last week, and out of the 6 matches last week, I got 4 of the results right. Okay, I didn't get the scores right, but I got 4 of the results right. So I was kind of quite pleased with that. So I'm going to kick off this week, Needham against Kings Lynn, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win for Kings Lynn. Yes,
and I've been here for God knows how long, and I did not check how well I did last week. So I will go for a 4-0 Kings Lynn win.
Okay, nice. Next one is a match that, I think I said earlier on when we went through this particular league that this is going to be quite a big game. And I'm going to sit on the fence on this one and say 1-1, Bishop Stortford, Sudbury, AFC Sudbury.
Yes, do get involved as well if you are in the chat. I'm going to say Bishop Stortford 1, AFC Sudbury 2. I think Sudbury will stay up if they win that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
that's Bishop Stortford on a bit of a slide. It's only in the National North one a couple of years ago. So
yeah, they've really gone downhill since going into the National North, which is a ridiculous decision at the time. Really, they should have been in the South.
Yeah. But then I suppose Needham Market have got an argument for that a little bit as well.
True. Right. You've got to go for the first one. Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So Wroxham Brentwood. Listen, Wroxham have got a lot to play for tomorrow. They're not going to make it easy for us, but we're very good defensively, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win to Brentwood. Danny Ogunleye is going to cement his place at the top of the scoring charts. 1-0 Brentwood, and the scorer I've gone as well. I must get double points or something. Surely.
I think you should. Right, before I do my prediction, Alex said Needham 1, Kingsland 3, Bishop Stortford 2, Sudbury 1, Wroxham 1, Brentwood 4, Lowestoft 0, Leiston 3, Yarmouth 1, Downham 3, and Fakenham 1, Dereham 1. So very good predictions there. And I will now say my prediction. I'm going to say Wroxham 0, Brentwood 5.
Okay. Fair enough. Listen, I'm not saying this because I don't want to upset people from Norfolk, but Wroxham don't tend to concede many goals, and that's the reason why. It wasn't that I wanted to play it down because
I will change it then.
I'll change it. No, keep it. No.
But no, I think that's going to be a good game indeed. I'm going to say Daniel Ogunleye needs to score a hat-trick.
I like your prediction better than mine, I have to say.
Right, Verity says Needham to win 2-1 against Kings Lynn. Bishop Stortford 1-1 against Sudbury. Wroxham versus Brentwood 5-1 to Brentwood. 2-1 to Lowestoft. 2-1 to Yarmouth and 2-1 to Fakenham. Very bold predictions there from Verity indeed, especially with the Needham Kings Lynn one. Right, so Lowestoft Leiston is the next one, and I think it's going to be, I'm going to say 2-0 Leiston.
Yeah, I've got 3-1 Leiston.
Yeah.
I've got 3-1. I mean, we played them a couple of times earlier on the season in the FA Cup. They beat us in a replay at their place. I think you come along to it, if I remember rightly. Probably your benefit, the games that you've come to, is probably the one that was the least most inspiring.
But, yes, it was that one. Yes,
I do actually think, if I'm honest, I think that that we matched them. I don't think Leiston are a bad side, and I think that 3-1. I think Leiston will beat Lowestoft tomorrow.
Yes, I do.
So, yeah.
All right, Yarmouth versus Downham. This is one of the top of the table ends for Downham, and I think if Yarmouth have a fit squad, which they could do, I'm going to say it's going to be 0-0.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'd have to. That tells me that you feel that quite defensive teams. I've gone a little bit more opposite on that. I think there's going to be goals, and I'm sorry to upset you a bit, but I've gone down and 3-1 away win for that one as well.
No, that's very understandable. I'm not going to lie. And finally, finishing off is Fakenham versus Dereham.
Yeah, go on. What do you think that one?
I'm going to say Fakenham 2, Dereham 1. Sorry, Toasty.
Yeah, so surely the one's got to be a 1-0 or something, and then you hold a sign up, right? I learned that from last week.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't have the sign. I'm not Lee.
Okay, no, fair enough. No Lee, no sign, right? So okay, for my one, I'm gonna go 3-1 Fakenham.
Yeah, nice. So if you guys are still putting your predictions in, please do put them in now. Or if you want to DM them to Lee, do it by lunchtime tomorrow, 12 p.m. But yeah, so you've got. Oh God, I accidentally removed you. I'm sorry there. But you've got a busy weekend coming up, from what I saw on your X page.
Yes, yeah. So the over talked about game tomorrow, obviously at Wroxham. Then on Saturday, I'm going to West Ham, Southampton. So I've got a season ticket at West Ham, so I'm going there on Saturday. And then on Monday, obviously the home game at Easter against Basildon, already relegated Basildon, unfortunately. So, yeah, as you said earlier on, we need the 3 points tomorrow. But if we don't, we've kind of got a backup plan then with a match on Monday. So hopefully over those two games, we should get what we need to get us the title.
Yes, indeed. And obviously for me, Friday work. Saturday I've got Great Yarmouth versus what's their face? Downham Town. And then obviously Monday as well, I'm at work. Ian come in. Newmarket 0, Kingsland 3. Who else? Bishop Stortford 1, AFC Sudbury 1. Wroxham 0, Brentford 2. Lowestoft 0, Leiston 2. Yarmouth 1-1 against Downham, and Fakenham 3, Dereham 0. Very good predictions, I will say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, but I think that is it from both of us today. So hopefully next Thursday, Lee will be back on with a bit more professionalism on this on the stream. But it's been fun hosting it on my own. Verity just said safe travels to Wroxham, Steve, and the Brentwood players and fans.
Yeah, thanks Verity. Thanks a lot. All I can say, Brentwood, it's love, support, and passion, and that's what we're all about. And there's going to be a particular club in our league that those three words are going to needle them a little bit, but that is what it is. So thanks a lot to everybody. I appreciate that, and let's just hope this weekend is our day.
And let's just say, if you do become champions, the checks will be written out.
Yes. Yeah. We've had a lot of that, which I find it quite humorous, because at the beginning of the season, the first 3-4 months, we never had any comments like that. So it was amazing. But listen, that's football, right? That's football, and I don't think Keith had really had to do much of a team talk over the last couple of months. I think it was just pinning stuff on the wall, and players read it, looked at stuff like that, and that's what motivated us. So actually, that particular club done us a brilliant favour. So I'd like to shake their hand and say thanks a lot.
Brilliant. But so hopefully next week you'll be completely drunk on the booze, still celebrating from hopefully the title, and hopefully you guys can join us next Thursday as well. But thank you very much all, one and all, for watching this stream. If you haven't subscribed to the Non-League social page, please do. But more importantly, please do subscribe to the Non-League Wonders YouTube page for weekly videos, if I can. And that is it for now. Until next Thursday, hopefully, we shall see you then. Bye bye bye.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care.